मेघालय की स्वास्थ्य मंत्री एम्प्रीन लिंडोह ने आज राज्य स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय की एक समीक्षा बैठक राज्य सचिवालय में बुलाई, जिसमें स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय के सभी उच्च अधिकारी और चिकित्सक शामिल हुए। वर्टिकल बार इस बैठक में विभिन्न समस्याओं से जूझ रहे राज्य की स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्था की समीक्षा की गई और उपायों पर भी ध्यान केंद्रित किया गया, ताकि राज्य की स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्था की बुनियादी जरूरतों को पूरा किया जा सके। बैठक के बाद स्वास्थ्य मंत्री अम्पारीन लिंगदोह ने पत्रकारों को बैठक की जानकारी देते हुए कहा कि स्वास्थ्य मंत्री का पद संभालने के बाद मैंने प्रदेश के विभिन्न अस्पतालों और स्वास्थ्य केंद्रों का दौरा किया और जाना कि अभी भी बहुत कुछ बाकी है, कमी है और इसे जल्द से जल्द पूरा किया जाना चाहिए। इसे पूरा किया जाना बहुत जरूरी है, जिसके लिए हमने यह समीक्षा बैठक बुलाई है।
Is parts of the state to find out what is happening if I don't even know the HR status. So I have been briefed today to understand that in several categories of job and job placement, uh, we need to review correctly. So that was why there were questions about specialists being in position in the legislative assembly. Then there were, questions being asked about uh, a PHC or a CHC or a sub health center that didn't have manpower. So I was trying to get better informed on what is the scenario like in the entire state. Yes, there are certain areas of shortages of specialists, and the department has taken up certain important decisions to ensure that we run short term uh, courses for doctors to make them equipped and have sufficient exposure to training so that they can also gradually fill all these gaps that are there in the placement of doctors in institutions. Then there is a huge surplus of nurses in the state of Meghalaya. There are more nurses as numbers of jobs that we can offer these nurses. So now we've also now, because of this engagement as an entire department, going from previous advertisements that were called. So we are now of this opinion that we need to now look for avenues for these nurses. Where do you direct these trained individuals? What do they do next with their lives? So government is going to be engaging with institutions, engaging with various agencies that can help us uh, uh, bring gainful employment to these nurses, because there are more nurses in the market than what government intake can do. uh, so we feel that maybe we must ensure that nurses are compulsorily given an opportunity or made to learn languages, a language skill. For example, we are aware that several foreign countries require nursing care which is not available in their own countries. Whereas if our nurses, who are already very hospitable in nature, very kind in nature, if they can have a language skill opportunity to pick up a language in any European country, maybe they could learn French, if they could learn Japanese. I'm told very recently that there was this big requirement for nursing care, nursing aids in these foreign countries. So we now need to look at this huge unemployment even in this one category alone. Yes, there is, as per the national norm, we do not have as many sanction posts in the state of Meghalaya. So, 3,000 plus. I don't remember the exact numbers. We have about 1,500 plus. So we are going to be likely looking at a probable moving to ensure that the sanction numbers of such posts, at least as per national norms are already made available. Because every time you have to inaugurate a CHC or PHC that has already been built, then you suddenly come against this hard wall which says there is no sanction post. So we must have all of this put in mind, because as we move along in the next 5 years, there has been a huge focus kept on funding for improvement of health services post COVID. Now we must make sure that once these infrastructures start seeing the light of day, they have the necessary manpower that is there. We're also engaging on an important venture where we need to create a dashboard of HR posted health employees in various categories. If there's a doctor, where are these doctors? If there's a nurse, where are these nurses? How long have they been in a certain place? Is it time to transfer them? Then we're also looking at a probable, possibility of, we this is all just in the pipeline, but we are planning it meticulously, because we are looking at incentivizing health um, health facilitators like doctors and nurses and lab technicians and all these various categories of workers that are there. How do we incentivize them to go and stay in a remote place? Because all of our problems related to health, when you talk about MMR, IMR, it's only because facilities don't reach the most difficult parts of the state of Meghalaya. So these are certain things which now come face to face, and reality is hitting us hard. We need to take some very important decisions, and we are consolidating all of these consultations. We've had consultations with doctors, with heads of districts, with the entire paradigm of health structure in the state of Meghalaya. Various meticulous discussions and dialoguings have been rolled out, and now we need to